Good morning, my name is Breanna McCans, and today I'm going to be presenting about how we cannot not communicate. And for starters, has anyone ever heard the phrase that actions speak louder than words? The answer probably is yes, because as humans, we do tend to believe the actions of people have more meaning than what they actually say. And this is because, according to the Merhibian formula, communication is only 7% based on the words, while 93% based on nonverbal communication cues. Therefore, in order to be an effective communicator, it is important to understand what nonverbal communication is and how it truly impacts the way we communicate. The first step to take in becoming an effective communicator is understanding we are always practicing communication, and that form is nonverbal communication. And according to the text, Interpersonal Communication for Contemporary Living by Jose Rodriguez, nonverbal communication is the process of exchanging messages without the use of words. An example is waving like this to say hi and replacing the words hello or hi. Adding on, nonverbal communication can be found in multiple categories. There is haptics, vocalics, kinesics, oculics, facial cues, and proxemics. These are all different categories in which we can send our nonverbal cues, and sometimes these different categories can all be sent at once, causing major confusion for the receiver of the message. Therefore, it is really important to understand and be able to control the way we communicate. Adding on, understanding what nonverbal communication is important to seeing how it applies to our everyday communication. For example, a source states that people are more likely to acknowledge the nonverbal cues that we send than the verbal message that is sent. And this is sometimes because nonverbal cues can replace the verbal message that is being sent, or could also enhance it depending on the nonverbal cues sent. That's why it is important that we control our gestures, because these have very strong powers and can convey very different meanings of our verbal communication. Naz Basidi adds on that nonverbal communication is more influential in her piece, The Power of Mindful Communication, by demonstrating how the psychologist Amy Cuddy proved that doing the power pose, which is a nonverbal cue, conveys the message to ourselves that we are confident and helps people perform better when they are doing things if they perform this pose. She also adds on that if nonverbal communication and verbal communication do not align with each other or correlate, then the message being sent will be totally misinterpreted or the audience will not be able to understand it. And overall, if you want to be a good communicator, you must understand how nonverbal communication applies to your everyday life and what it is. And according to Dr. J, it is very important to be mindful of the nonverbal cues you are sending, because no one can control how other people are gonna perceive this message. People may perceive something totally different than what you mean, or perceive something that does not correlate with the verbal message you are sending. Therefore, controlling what you do with your body language is important in communicating every day. And by practicing mindfulness, you can also control how you use your body language and non-verbally communicate by being more aware of your body and your actions and what are you doing. The proof is the mind follows the nonverbal cues, for example, like the power pose. In conclusion, with that being said, I hope people understand that we never stop communicating because we are always sending nonverbal messages. And I hope by understanding what nonverbal messages are and how they apply to our lives, people can take this piece of advice and apply it to the way they nonverbally communicate to become more effective communicators and be able to correlate their nonverbal communication with their verbal communication. Thank you.